I'm Dana Denha, and you're watching FYI. The University of Michigan Museum of Natural History is a unique local institution you could spend days and weeks on and inside the museum walls and still discover new and exciting aspects of our world and universe. Watch as the high-tech planetarium takes you to the depths of existence.
The Biological Sciences Building is the home of the University Planetarium and Dome Theater.
Well, being part of the new building, also state-of-the-art. It's up to code in every imaginable way in here, which is really nice for us. We can, for example, seat 9 wheelchairs in this space, which is amazing. But it is a 30-foot dome as opposed to an 18-foot dome. It has an outside expression, which means you see it when you drive by, which is great for advertising. Because of the technology being current, we can do programming that we could never dream of doing before. Even though we were actually digital for the last 10 years in the old dome, it was, I'll say, a Volkswagen as opposed to a Cadillac system.
It's a 4K projection system, so it's definitely HD, but the real benefit of a planetarium is a 360-degree dome, and it's all about kind of surrounding your vision and everything you see with the experience that we want. So it can really sort of transport you to a different location.
When you walk into this dome and the screen above it, you will see, of course, the night sky, but we'll fly out to a star and we'll visit a star as opposed to saying, look, this little dot on the dome. We'll visit the planets, we'll fly through the rings, we'll cut the planets in half. We'll travel to the edge of the known universe and visit the various galactic sets along the way.
Series of 88 organized show people their favorite constellations, like the Big Dipper or something like that, but then leave Earth with that constellation sort of drawn in the sky, and it shows how that constellation loses shape and meaning once you leave Earth.
And the sky is no longer the limit, as the Digistar technology can transport to places once unimaginable.
We're running cosmic colors, which is about the spectrum of light and how that impacts astronomy. When you're sitting here in the dome, you feel like you're in a big, giant fishbowl with all kinds of underwater sea life. They spent years building these. Nothing there is real. It's all animated, but it's absolutely gorgeous. And that's the reef exploration.
You're able to do things, everything in astronomy that you can really imagine, but then also a lot more beyond that.
To plan your next trip to the University of Michigan Museum of Natural History's Planetarium, visit ummnh.org. Stay tuned, and we'll be back with more in exactly 30 seconds. Ann Arbor is home to more than 160 parks with scenic views, places to play, and some top-notch facilities. See all that Bird Hills Nature Area has to offer during this Park Peek.
Bird Hills Nature Area is the largest natural area in the city at 146 acres. Its hilly woods are a sanctuary for hikers. You can access Bird Hill from various locations, the main entrance at Newport Road, as well as Bird Hill Road and Beechwood Drive. A network of trails allows the opportunity to spend hours hiking through beautiful, forested areas or just a few minutes to appreciate nature. The area is closed to bicycles to prevent damage from erosion. No facilities are available in this undeveloped natural area. The unpaved trails wind through hills and ravines covered with beech, sugar maple, flowering dogwood, oaks and hickory, and various spring wildflowers. Other areas have been planted with various trees not native to our area. For more information, visit a2gov.org/parkfinder.
The autumn winds have blown in, and what that means, piles of leaves. Learn the best practices for fall cleanup in this month's City Roundup.
Hi, I'm Jenny Petoskey, the City of Ann Arbor's Solid Waste Outreach and Compliance Specialist. The City of Ann Arbor is expanding services to help residents manage their seasonal leaves for 2023. Until December 15th, residents will be able to set out 20 paper yard bags per collection day instead of 10. Individual bags must not exceed 50 pounds. Residents are also encouraged to use compost carts for fall leaves. Single-family residential properties can get one free 64 or 96-gallon compost cart by contacting customer service. Pickup is free, or a cart can be delivered for $59. Additional carts are available for a fee. The Ann Arbor Compost Facility will also accept unlimited leaf drop-offs from residents or their landscapers through December 15th for the fall 2023 season. The facility is normally open weekdays, 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. To drop off, visitors must use the automated scale, which includes weighing in and out. Leaves from property outside the City of Ann Arbor do not qualify for this free service. There are options outside of paper yard bags and compost carts to make use of leaves, branches, and other material from your yard. For instance, use a mulching mower to feed grass clippings and leaves back into your lawn. Use mulched leaves to cover flower beds in winter, or create a compost pile. Finally, as a reminder, putting leaves in the street is not acceptable. Visit a2gov.org/compost for more information. Thank you.
Holistic healing can affect the body, mind, and soul in ways that Western medicine cannot. 7 Notes Natural Health, located off Packard Street in Ann Arbor, offers a variety of services utilizing massage, music, and color, just to name a few, to heal the physical body and the mental health of individuals. Joining me is Rob Meyer-Kukan, owner and body worker at 7 Notes Natural Health. Welcome to the show, Rob.
Hi there, how are you?
Good. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your background and training and what led you to holistic medicine?
Sure. So I have a background in church music. I have a bachelor's degree in church music from Concordia University here in Ann Arbor. I always like to jokingly say the other university in Ann Arbor. And for 21 years, I served churches and schools in Southeast Michigan. For 29 years, I was private instruction in music, piano, voice, that type of thing. And I always had an interest in natural health and was always interested in how could we use music outside of the large group settings of the choirs and things that I was working with in that regard. And so I was always just sort of curious, and about sort of, 2/3-ish through my career, I had an injury in my shoulder. I learned that I have a congenital defect, a defect in one of my bones that I was born with. And I wasn't fond of the concept of going in and hacking things out and whatnot. And so I said to my doctors, well, is there something else we could do? And they were like, well, you could try PT. We don't think that'll do so much, but you could do some holistic movement therapies. And I did that, and we did do PT, and we did some other things, and I learned about the wide world of Alexander technique and Feldenkrais, and just started to explore how my body works and moves, and what type of quality of movements I have, and things changed for me, and I started getting excited about that and started getting excited about sharing that with other people. And it was my Alexander teacher who said, I think you should go to massage school. And I was like, that seems crazy. But then I kind of opened my mind to it, and I wanted to learn more about anatomy. I wanted to learn a marketable skill that would help other people. And then music just kind of worked its way into that world as well as the other work that I was doing. And so through getting involved with some healing work that was done with singing bowls, particularly in a modality that uses bowls on and around the body. We then kind of grew into what we've got today.
Wow, that's amazing to think that you went from, church music to holistic medicine. And I can't believe you look amazing. 29 years. I can't imagine you've had a 29-year career already.
I always say I started teaching when I was 5, so.
So do you sort of incorporate the church music, or is it different? Has the music sort of evolved with your healing?
Yeah, so I love this question because one of the things that was most challenging yet most exciting and freeing for me about that very first class I ever took in sound therapy, sound healing, using sound in a modality in this way, I had to really remove myself from all of my formal training and stop thinking about intervals and chords and musical notes and notation and the score and dynamics and all of that type of stuff, and really just sort of allow myself to tap into my intuition and the emotion I was receiving from the experience I was having. And I remember in the class that I was in, people would come to me and they'd bring me a bunch of singing bowls and they'd say like, do these sound good together? And I would say, well, I can tell you what they sound like musically, and I can tell you what interval that is, or what, typically in our Western minds, these sound good together, these clash, these are dissonant, these are, have harmonies together. But for myself, the way I'm approaching this training, and my advice to you as classmates would be, do you love the way these bowls sound together? And so what that has done then is that's allowed a philosophical shift. Like, while I still love the challenge of engaging with music and learning to play music and performing music, that type of thing, this is a different affect that we're trying to reach here. It's the same, but it's different. And so it was a whole new approach. And while we still think about harmony and rhythm and texture and color, it's just in a whole different way.
Yeah, it's interesting. It almost makes me think of a painter being more of an expressive painter, where you just sort of like let it happen, and you're not thinking too much about what your composition is, or you're going to put on the canvas. It's more about the actual creation of the art. Yeah,
it's really, really process versus product, right?
Mm-hmm.
We talk about this a lot in education, and the Ann Arbor Symphony Orchestra is there to put together a product for you. At the end of their X number of weeks of rehearsing, they're going to play whatever piece of music, and you're going to pay for those tickets and expect the level of excellence to be. Not saying that the level of excellence isn't the same for this type of an experience, but it's more about the journey of the process versus like the end result.
The final product, yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Talk about, since we are talking about the music portion, because there's a lot that goes on at 7 Notes Natural Health. So talk about the sound therapy and how it is beneficial to people, because I think it's something that's sort of newer. I mean, it's probably not newer, but it's like newer to pop culture, I guess. Like, you're hearing more about sound baths and how they're helpful, but I think a lot of us don't really know how they're helpful.
Yeah, so you're exactly right. Sound baths, sound healing, sound therapy, all of these terms are all being sort of used synonymously right now in the industry and in the field. And I always say, like, Ann Arbor is such a cool town because there's so much going on here. Like, throw a stone on a weekend and you're going to hit a sound bath, right? Because there's so many things being offered, and there's so many different ways that it's being offered as well. Here at 7 Notes Natural Health, we offer one-on-one sessions, much like any other type of bodywork session. You come in, you lay on a table, we're going to put bowls on and around you. Or we offer sound baths, the group sound sessions. This room that I'm in here is where we have those events. And I always say that a sound bath is a combination of 3 things: a guided meditation, a little bit of a concert, and kind of a yoga slumber party. And in all of those settings, our objective, our goal is to help you to relax, because it's our theory and our thought and our philosophy that when the body is relaxed, it can heal. And so we don't say that if you have X, Y, or Z going on, we can heal that, because that's not my job. It's your body's job. My job is to hold space for you so that you can heal, and so that your body can do what it was created and meant to do. And so I always say, like, when, reading my biography, that rather than, body worker or sound healer or Reiki practitioner, I'd really rather, my title be space holder, because that's really what I want to do. And that's really what I love doing. So
it is sort of your journey to be on, because I can think of, like, when you're really tense and you just, like, it's like your head hurts, your body is tense and sore. It's really just being able to, and I don't know if some people know how to fully relax on their own and just, like, be, and that's what you're helping them do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and particularly now coming out of COVID, as we continue to evolve and learn and grow and whatnot, we spent a lot of time in this very contracted space, and now is time for us to really fully live in, I believe, and finding those ways to be mindful, finding those ways to settle in and be relaxed is what we do.
Can you explain what Reiki is? Because you did mention that earlier too.
Yeah, absolutely. So Reiki is much like yoga. A lot of times we think about yoga and we think about going to a yoga class and we've got our mats and we're doing the different poses and things like this. But really, yoga is a series or a system of practices. Reiki is the same thing, but the most often times thing that we think about is a one-on-one Reiki session, which is a hands-on healing session, is a traditional Japanese practice of, it's not really an energy exchange so much as it is just a focus and a bringing of awareness of that energy to the session, to that present moment, to that client. And really just, again, it's all about holding space and allowing that client to be on the journey of what are you experiencing? And sometimes that's very quiet and calm, and other times there's some emotions and a little bit of coaching and talking. But it's a very gentle, hands-on, a lot of times sort of hands kind of above or around. And that's what a Reiki session is.
Can you explain the different sorts of massages that you offer at 7 Notes and how they can help you in different ways depending on your needs?
Yeah, sure. So we offer myofascial release, neuromuscular therapy, Swedish therapy, reflexology, some craniosacral as well. And each of those has specific things that we would address. In a reflexology session, we're going to work on specific reflex points in the feet and the hands, sometimes working in the ears. That is can focus on any area of the body or support the work that you're doing in anything that you're interested in working on. Myofascial release is going to work to release the fascia so that your body can move a little more freely, so that there can be less constriction around the muscles. Swedish techniques a lot of times are incorporated to utilize or to be utilized with all of these other modalities as well. But a lot of times we utilize those Swedish techniques of the smooth strokes, the relaxation type work for helping clients to be in a relaxed space. And then neuromuscular therapy is specific trigger point work where we're working on muscles that have developed a trigger point that has created some sort of pain or dysfunction, and we work to release those trigger points and help you move and feel a lot better.
One of the other things that is offered at 7 Notes Natural Health is color therapy. What are the benefits? I don't know much about color therapy, so I don't know how it works and how it benefits.
Yeah, so color therapy is really sort of this this beautiful kind of emerging modality in the field. It is something that's been around and been studied for a long period of time, but it's something that again can be used to help the body and to support the healing journey. The particular type of color therapy that we do here at Seven Notes Natural Health is a projected color. So rather than the reflected color, like the color on the banners or the walls behind us, or the color of the shirt I'm wearing, which is a color that's being reflected, this color has light being shown through it. And so we use a specific type of light. It's really just a theater light. And instead of having the plastic gels that they use in theater lighting,
Sure.
these are Reiki infused stained glass gels that specifically focus on a system that was taught in the country of India by a gentleman whose last name is Dinshaw. And he wrote a really fascinating book about how to help the body support its needs with the frequency and vibration, much like the frequency and vibration of singing bowls and gongs and that type of stuff, essential oils of specific focused color.
Oh, that's really interesting. I feel like you have to be constantly doing research and learning new things as a body worker at Seven Notes Natural Health.
Yeah, it's funny. It's one of my passions, and I'm currently in a PhD program, getting a degree, a PhD in naturopathy. And if it wasn't for that, I'd be binging some sort of video series or reading
Yeah.
some sort of book. I think you even commented when you were here to visit about the array of colorful books and how I had organized them. But books are always something that are fascinating to me, and learning through them. I had a high school history teacher who always impressed on us that in early American times, books were a sign of affluence, and people who had books were oftentimes the wealthier people. I'm not by any stretch of the imagination saying I'm wealthy because I have a lot of books, but what he taught us was the importance of reading, and that you can always be learning from books, and that you don't always have to read them cover to cover, that you can take the parts that you really need and go from there. And so, yeah, I'm passionate about that because I'm so passionate about helping others. That, our tagline is, we help you to hear, see, and feel true wellness. And so I figure that the best way I can do that is by being the most educated person that I can, in the best way that I can. So,
Well, speaking of your education, and you did mention earlier that you got into this because you had an issue with your shoulder. So you do one-on-one consultations with people so you can figure out the best way to heal them.
Yeah, so we offer natural health consultations. It's part of our, natural health focus. And again, the focus really isn't so much on what I'm doing to heal you or to help you heal, but rather what can we do to provide the best possible environment for your body to do the work. Because I really truly believe that if we provide that environment, the body will do what it needs to.
Yeah, I think sometimes you do, like, something can happen. Like, I had an issue with my shoulder because I was in a play and I did this crazy move, and like then my shoulder was messed up for a while. But I think that, like, you don't it ended up being massages that helped me. It wasn't physical therapy. It was going and getting like massages and having like a massage therapist actually help me heal that I finally got better. But like when you go see a regular doctor, they're like, here, try muscle relaxers or something like that. But there are these alternatives that you should be aware of. We're almost out of time. So why don't you tell people why they should take advantage of Seven Notes Natural Health and how it can be helpful, especially when, sometimes you feel like with things that are wrong with your body, there's no help. Like sometimes you're just like going to doctors and different specialists and you just can't find the help that you need. And I think that that's where you end up at places like Seven Notes Natural Health. And it can be something that is a truly healing journey.
Yeah, it's, it kind of goes back to that tagline that I mentioned earlier, that at Seven Notes Natural Health, it is our goal to help you to hear, see, and feel true wellness. And you're exactly right. You may have, been on a long journey where you've kind of exhausted a lot of different avenues and you just want to try something different. Or you may just be perfectly content with where you're at, but you think you can up your game and do it just a little bit better. And not that one is better than the other, but that they can really work hand in hand. And so, I mean, we're less about the, go this direction, not that direction. And we're more about whatever it's going to take to help you to meet those goals and to do whatever it is that you want to do. So I would never tell you not to see a doctor or that type of a thing. Just like I would hope that a doctor wouldn't say like, oh, well, don't get regular massages or don't do that hokey energy work stuff. My goal is to really just to help you and to provide you with those options. And so if you're looking for something that is supportive, something that is a little bit different, particularly if you have an interest in allowing yourself to really fully delve into this idea of relaxation therapies, of mindfulness, and doing it in non-invasive ways that promote nature, that's what we thrive on here, and that's what we are committed to. So. Yeah.
Well, I can imagine too that once people get in the doors there and they try out something, they might want to try out other things just to see what it feels like and see if it changes, your thinking, your stress levels, your relaxation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and one of my favorite things is, when we talk about the different modalities and offerings that we bring, a lot of times, folks will say like, well, can I get a session where we do some Reiki, and then can I also have a massage session? And my whole thing is like, one of my favorite things to do is to integrate. So don't worry about scheduling different sessions. Let's integrate it into one session. So we don't offer that as a separate thing. We just say like, if you're in the middle of your massage but really feel like you need some aromatherapy, we're going to pull the essential oils in. Or if we need to add some color therapy, or you want to end with some sound therapy. So integrating is definitely one of our sort of hallmarks, and one of the things that I love to do the most. So absolutely.
Well, I think that's a nice business practice to have, that you can incorporate different things for people depending on their needs.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you so much, Rob, it was a pleasure talking to you about this, and I learned some stuff today. So I want to thank you for that.
Thank you as well.
For more on this and other programs, visit a2gov.org/CTN. Visit youtube.com/CTN Ann Arbor to see all that we have to offer. And remember to like, subscribe, and ring that notification. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time to FYI.